Hey guys, it's Nuke, voted by Nukenites as not the Nintendo Wii of commentators, so that's a bit reassuring. I'm not sure what I'm going to be though, I have to make up something. The Don Knotts of commentators? Except, down at the 5 o'clock position in teal is Hyuk. Down at the 8 o'clock position in purple is RuBy. The Uwe Boll of commentators, there we go. Perfect. But yes, RuBy is the Air Force Ace guy, and this is not the first time I've dealt with RuBy in the round of 36. He was in the round of 36 at the Ever OSL 2009, and he came one game away from moving into the round of 16. That would have been insane. To see an Air Force Ace player in the round of 16, pretty much unheard of. And if anyone's going to do it, I think it's going to be RuBy, but he still has a very big roadblock in the form of Hyuk here today. Because in the Ever OSL, he came one game away, just lost the last game to GoGo. GoGo was a bit too much for him, unfortunately. But RuBy, I'd say he's definitely the best player on Ace. I think he's been playing better on Ace than he ever did on NBC. That could be a bit debatable, I'm not sure. But yeah, he's taken down a lot of heavy players. Well, not fat players, but the top players like Flash recently in the Pro League. That was an insane game. I think it was an Ace match as well, where he took down Flash after losing to him in the game prior to that. So RuBy really been rocking it, and he is yet again just one step away of getting into the round of 16. But like I said, Hyuk is a definite roadblock. Hyuk, as you see on your screen, there is the lovely face of Hyuk. And he is in this position, the seeded position. He is basically around a 36 seed right now. And he's in that position because he won the wild card tournament inside of the prelims. They had two tournaments, two guys won them. That was C and Hyuk to take the place of GoGo and Hwasun as the seeds. So Hyuk obviously playing great in this OSL so far because he had to beat all of the winners from the prelims in that wild card tourney. So we can't really make fun of Hyuk anymore. He used to be kind of the punching bag for the scene, the butt of every joke, but can't really do that anymore. He's kind of adopted a style all his own. He's a very annoying player, and I think he's of the generation of the modern Zerg players who look at Quanro's play and say, Hive Tech is overrated. I think I'll play like Quanro, hyper-aggressive, because that's a strength of a Zerg player anyway, is the aggressive early attacks. So Hyuk is a lot like Quanro these days, which is hyper-aggressive, and much like Quanro, you almost never see him get to Hive Tech. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I love to see some aggressive play from these guys. And Hyuk did go for his spawning pool first, so he could keep the scout away. I think he took down the scout inside of the main. Not quite sure about that, but I'm pretty sure he did. And now RuBy is trying to do a little expand here. He put down his bunker first, just to be sure. But if I were him, I'd try to put another building there right next to that bunker, because knowing Hyuk, you'll probably try to run by with Zerglings later. Speed upgraded Zerglings. But yes, I have to admit, it would be very exciting to see RuBy get into the round of 16. So I'm kind of secretly rooting for him on the inside, even though I try to remain unbiased. I got nothing against Hyuk. It's great to see him picking himself up as a great player, because he was just the butt of every joke for such a long period of time. It's good to see that players don't necessarily have to stay dim-witted, as Hyuk was at one point in time. Yeah, I think the win against Jaedong in the Pro League Grand Finals last season was the biggest boost of his confidence. After that, he's just been rocking it, adopting the style of his own with a lot of confidence. Confidence goes a long way in StarCraft. And there's the scout from RuBy, almost dead. RuBy's trying to stay in here long enough to see what building comes up next. But there's that third hatchery coming. Oh, RuBy's scout goes down, so he's not going to get the full scouting information. I'm not even sure if he saw that lair morphing at the natural expansion, but he can pretty much safely assume that the lair is coming. He just doesn't know what other building is going to be coming up. So he's sending out another SCV scout. And let's see what RuBy does from here. It looks like he's going to work on his upgrades soon enough, get those turrets up, just to make sure he doesn't get bombarded by Mutalisk. The second extractor coming up for Hyuk, and he probably won't be taking his third anytime soon. I think he's going to work from these two bases, knowing Hyuk. He's just going to work from those two bases, see what kind of damage he can get done from these two, pick off as many SCVs as he can, and then probably expand at one of the corners, one of the top corners. Okay, here comes RuBy. This is his second attempt at getting in here with the scout. Looks like Hyuk not quite paying attention now. He's paying attention to his Zerglings, trying to kill this SCV so it doesn't see the next building. Comes up. Nice surround on the SCV. RuBy completely in the dark now as the Spire popping up for Hyuk. So he is going for a mutilus opener. But I think RuBy should be okay. He's putting down more barracks, a lot more barracks, 3 more barracks inside of his main, and he does have his engineering bay up, probably researching that +1 attack for those Marines. So I think he'll be okay, and he's already put himself, he made a nice wall here, so we're not going to see a speedling run by of any kind from Hyuk, even though Hyuk going primarily for Zerglings, a whole lot of Zerglings coming out for Hyuk. As I said, very aggressive player, and he's probably going to try to get a lot of damage done right here. He might be able to do it, because there's a very thin part of that wall that he could probably take out a Marine and run by if he's quick enough. Here he comes, full-on Zergling assault. The medic comes in just in time, though. Oh, looks like RuBy wasn't quite paying attention, but I guess he doesn't need to. The SCV finally wakes up. Yeah, I guess he was reading a magazine at the time. Jumps over there and repairs that bunker. So Hyuk, he might try another pass at this. He has quite a few troops still there, but it doesn't look like that's going to be too successful. He might be able to run by into the natural, pick off a few SCVs before RuBy pulls out of that bunker or something, but Hyuk is still committing to quite a few Zerglings here, and once the Mutilus pop, he's going to have a full-on frontal assault, I think. I think he's going to run in with all of his Zerglings and all of his Mutas at the front, which would be a very powerful force since Hyuk is still working off of 2 bases. But okay, looks like RuBy moving out with a small force might not be the best idea in the world because he does not know where all those Zerglings went. He saw them running back and forth, so he knows they're out there, so he's probably going to play a little bit more cautiously than he normally does. But here's Hyuk coming out with his mutas from the 3 hatcheries. Plenty of Zerglings still out for Hyuk, so I think he cut his drone production a little bit. Obviously, he's not even working on his 3rd base, so this is going to be a fairly cheesy attack, but a just aggressive, very, very aggressive attack. I'm not sure where RuBy's troops went. I don't see them anywhere. Perhaps they are, yeah, there they are, just right inside the main, ready for that mutilus harassment. That was 1 turret coming up. I think the turrets might be a tad bit late for RuBy. I see a couple popped up now, so I think he will be okay right now. Here's Hyuk. I think Hyuk's going to go for the killing blow right now with his Zerglings in tow. He's kind of testing the waters with his Mutilus to make sure he can get in there with his Mutas once he runs in with the Zerglings as well. Coming in with Zerglings, a Firebat inside that bunker though. No SCVs to repair the bunker, so the Firebat's doing a good job fighting back the initial Zerglings. But far fewer than needed medics here. Only a couple medics out for all of these Marines. So it looks like RuBy... Okay, a few more medics coming out now. Looks like he pumped medics all at the same time. RuBy trying to move out, but he's going to be completely pincered if he's not too careful. Because look at all of these Zerglings still remaining in the map. If Hyuk commits all of his troops to what RuBy has, I think he'll be able to take out that troop. Looks like he's trying to do that right now. Looks like RuBy has the high ground, doing the best he can to rip through this. No more Firebats, though. So the Mutilus are just going to grind down this troop. Here come the reinforcements coming in for RuBy, so he is able to fight back most of the Mutas, and all of the Zerglings went down, so it's going to be much harder to do that kind of a pincer attack again from Hyuk, since he's still committed off of 2 bases, only 2 bases. He has not even thought about his 3rd yet, but another nice pincer attack from him. Not sure where all these Zerglings came from, but he brought them in just the right time to grind down their army yet again. And it looks like RuBy is trying to fight back Zerglings with his SCVs. That's not good. So if I were RuBy, I'd just get those medic Marines out of there, maybe run them further into the main where they won't be hurt, because he needs to get up a ball of medic Marines to fight off these Mutas. Plenty of turrets in, though. Looks like Hyuk committing to taking down those turrets. There are a few turrets left as RuBy is trying to rebuild the bunker and a couple more turrets, but he just doesn't have quite enough medic Marines to hold this, I think. He needs to fall back, maybe abandon this natural expansion, and it would be okay if he did abandon the natural because Hyuk's still at 2 bases. So getting up the medic Marine squad is the #1 priority for RuBy right now, even though he just lost a couple more Marines. And I'm pretty sure he's still grouping his medic Marines up, but I don't see them anywhere. So he might have just lost his entire medic Marine army. Oh, RuBy lets out a laugh. There's the GG. RuBy, you're not going to be laughing if that happens in the 2nd set. But Hyuk taking it with completely aggressive play from 2 bases, much like Quanro. Didn't even bother with a 3rd. And no hive tech, obviously, but okay, we're moving on to the second set. I don't think we're going to see RuBy smiling for too much longer, though. Okay, here we go.